Hi, welcome to today's reading. We're looking at how you meet your next partner or your soulmate. It's really up to you to decide who that is as you choose your group today. Let me show you each of your three options now. For group one, we have citrine, and we are using the Mermaid Tarot today. For group two, we have grape agate, and we are using the Caticorn Tarot today. For group three, we have sodalite, and we are using the Animal Totem Tarot. Okay, take your time if you need it. Of course, you are always welcome to watch more than one, especially if you are good at discerning which messages are for you. So meet me in your reading when you're ready. Hi, group one. You chose the citrine and the Mermaid Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading focuses on how you come together with your next partner or your right person. We're going to start right off the bat with how you could meet this person. So I'm going to draw a couple of tarot cards, and then we have some handwritten cards as well. Okay. The World, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and then we have the Moon. Okay. Very big major arcana energies. Let's see what we get from these cards. Let me shuffle them a little bit. Okay, let's draw a few of these. When it's storming, on a day off, shopping. Let's get one more. In an intimate setting. Well, I don't know that shopping is an intimate setting, but maybe I want to get one more. Rainbow. Okay. So don't necessarily take these too seriously. They're just potentials. So, how you meet this person. So certainly it could be a day off work, a weekend, another day that you have off work, or if you are on vacation. It's kind of giving me like there's a little bit of vacation vibes, especially with this world card too. Like you might be somewhere across the world, or you just may be in a different location than you normally are. And with this moon too, makes me think that a little bit too, because the moon can be a little bit confusing. Like it's kind of giving me these vibes of like when you're in another location, you don't really know where to go. You're confused. You have to look at your map or your GPS, or you have to ask for directions, or like things are a little bit confusing. And with all this watery energy, and this is the Mermaid Tarot, so that's not unusual for this deck, but it also makes me think that you're somewhere potentially with water, like you're at like a beach vacation, a beach resort, or something like that. So that's not going to be the case necessarily for all of you, but some of you could meet your person while you are traveling, and it feels a little bit more vacation than it does traveling for work. Or if you're traveling for work, you're also taking some time to like enjoy the scenery or go do something touristy or go shopping or something like that. And there is not only watery energy in these cards, but we have it storming and rainbow too. So it could be, there could be some weather going on when you meet this person, or there's something watery going on. So you may be near water, whether you normally live near water or not. And it could be, yeah, it's really giving me this vibe of like you're on vacation, it's storming, so you go indoors. So it is more intimate setting than it would be outdoors. And you're maybe like shopping or eating or doing something like that. And, or maybe you're at a restaurant or you're at a bar or something to get out of the rain. And then you meet this person. But again, that does not have to be the case. So what else is here is that there are pretty major energies. We have 3 major arcana cards that came out immediately. And the Wheel of Fortune is often about fate and a fated meeting and something that feels very lucky and that feels like a big new thing sometimes. And so there's this feeling when you meet the person that you will be with next or your right person where it just feels fated. It feels like you were meant to meet, that you were meant to come together, that some divine energies on the other side have like pulled the strings to bring you into one another's field of experience. So whether you meet this person on vacation or whether you meet them when you are grocery shopping, whether it is like you are doing some cool big life thing or not, the meeting feels important. So something about this feels very destined or very important right off the bat. It is possible that, like, again, I'm getting all this vacation stuff for some reason, but like, if you go on a trip and you join a tour group and there's someone else on your tour and you might like each other, like you talk to each other or whatever, but then one day you're doing something indoors because it's storming and you get to know each other a lot more. And then it's when that fated feeling shows up. Yeah, but it feels very, very important. There's all this very round imagery, because we have the round world, we have the moon, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune. There's all these circular. So it's making me think that this could have something to do with what's going on. And it could be as simple as like this person is wearing a t-shirt with some circular imagery on it when you meet them, or it has something to do with their name. Like, like their last name could mean circle or oval in another language or something like that. Or their name could start with an O, or there could be a lot of O's in their name. Their first name or their last name could start with an O, like Opal, Oliver, something like that. You definitely could be in a situation where you are like, taking a big trip or also doing something else that feels big to you. Like you could be going through a major life event. It feels positive. And this could be also what kind of draws you together. Like you are moving to a new country, or it could be, moving to a new city. It doesn't have to necessarily be that far, but some of you could be going through a big life transition. Maybe you're taking on an entirely new career role. Maybe something is happening in your life that feels big, whether it is you're changing your whole life or you are doing one big thing. And so it's interesting. So let's get further into this. Let's first ask how you will know that it's this person. The Magician. And we have the Star and the Hierophant. This is kind of crazy because we originally got 3 major arcana cards. Our next question, we get 3 major arcana cards. We've already gotten only majors in this reading. So this is a very major relationship. Very, very important. It feels very fated. While I was shuffling, we're asking how you'll know it's them. And I heard you'll just know. You don't have to question it. You'll just know. So, and I almost thought about not even asking that question, but it's going to feel important. It's going to feel major. It's going to feel like something is getting plugged in. It's just like, two people matching, and something just makes sense right away. After this, we're going to look at your first impressions of each other. So I'm really curious to see what that is, because it feels like right off the bat, it's already like, it's this kind of feeling of like one of you or maybe both of you. It's like as soon as you see the other person or you talk to them or something, you have the thought like, this is who I'm going to marry or something. And this Hierophant with her like writing in this book, but it makes me think of like writing home to let someone know. Because again, it kind of feels like you're in another part of the world when this happens. Again, I don't think that's necessarily the case for everyone. It just could be that you're in a different neighborhood or something, but it's almost like texting your sister or your friend or something and being like, I just met the person I'm going to marry. There's some energy here where it just immediately kind of feels like that. But yeah, and with the Hierophant, I mean, this can be a card that talks about marriage as well. So again, it's like this sort of feeling of like, this is who I'm going to be with. I just know it. And there's this knowing with the Magician too. The Magician just has everything they need. So it's like you just immediately kind of have everything that you need to know. It's an intuitive knowing. And with the Moon in the last group and the Star here, there's a lot of intuitive stuff that's going on here. And with the Magician as well. The Magician is connected to, and I feel like the Hierophant as well, connected to like the spiritual realm as well as the material realm. And so it's like, you might be someone who is claircognizant. You just kind of know things. You don't always know why. And it's like you just kind of have these thoughts that go into your mind sometimes where you just know something. And it's like that with this person. You just know something right off the bat. And it feels like you're just ready to tell people about it too. And it feels very divinely led. It feels like your wishes are coming true. A lot of times the Star talks about wish fulfillment and something that you've prayed for, asked for, hoped for. The Magician is also about manifestation, something that you've been trying to draw in, wanting in your life when it comes to partnership and relationship. This feels like the divine is writing that and it's coming true. And so, how you know it's them is it just feels like a wish fulfilled very quickly, very, very quickly. It could be upon first seeing them. It could be once you start to get to know them. We'll see a little bit more with your first impressions of each other. But there's something very exciting about this. It's a very revitalizing feeling as well. Like there's a lift in your energy when you're around this person. So let's, I'll leave these here. Let's look at, no, you know what? I'm going to clear these out because we're going to do your first impressions of each other. And then we'll see how you feel about each other as you get to know each other better. Okay. So what are your first impressions of each other? Let's do your first impressions of them on the left and their first impressions of you on the right. So what are your first impressions of this person? The Queen of Wands. And we have the Chariot. What are their first impressions of you? We've got the Nine of Pentacles. And we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, so when it comes to your first impressions of this person, there's definitely a powerful feeling to them with this Queen of Wands and with the Chariot as well. And so with another major arcana showing up here, I do have to wonder if you kind of are the first one to understand and realize how big these energies are. I think that you're both going to be very drawn to one another, but I would wager a guess that you are the more intuitively inclined one, and that you may know something is big before this person fully realizes it, because you can sense these big energies right off the bat. So I think this person feels very magnetic to you very quickly. You're very drawn to them. They, with the Queen of Wands and also with the Chariot, they could be a fire sign, or they just come across very fiery or passionate or creative. They could seem very driven, and that they seem to know where they're going. This person does not feel very confused. It feels like they know where they're going. They know where they want to go. They seem kind of motivated and energetic and inspired. They may be someone who travels a lot, or seems well traveled, or seems very cultured. Certainly they could be from, and with all this traveling coming up in this group, they could certainly be from another culture, another part of the world. They may, sometimes with the wands, I get that they may dress in a very interesting way, or they look different than the average person, or they may look different than your typical type. But whether or not they look like your typical type, they are very attractive. You are very attracted to them, and you find yourself wanting to move toward them. But I think that there's also a little bit of a feeling of nervousness because you are attracted to them, because they have a powerful energy that you can sense right off the bat. And I think that as much as you may feel something really important and want to move toward them, I kind of feel like you stay back just a little bit, or when you are talking to them, you're not like full force completely yourself right off the bat. Like it seems like you kind of feel them out a little bit first, but they seem like they have kind of knowledge, skills, or talents or something like that are very intriguing to you. You could definitely tell that they're different from you, and you're very intrigued by them. I wonder if you get kind of lost in fantasy pretty quickly with this person. Not necessarily, but I get that a little bit. It feels like they come across really direct. Like they say what they want. They say what they're thinking. They don't beat around the bush. Yeah, there's something with their communication and the way that they move that's very direct. I feel like they have a very attractive body to you. But, even though you come across as like more intuitive, they also seem tapped into that little voice within, and they seem to live their life according to that. But again, we're just trying to get into our first impressions here. I think they do feel a little bit wild in a way, which feels a little bit nerve-wracking for you, because it feels like something about this person feels like it makes you feel a little bit out of control. And that may make you slightly nervous. It doesn't feel like a big deal, but it kind of feels like, oh no, like what am I about to get myself into? Their first impressions of you when we look over here, you come across as mysterious and intriguing. They can't quite figure you out as quickly as it feels like you can kind of figure them out. I think that they absolutely want to know more, but they don't know if you want them to know more. And so, even though they're kind of like a very forward feeling person, I think that they also don't want to scare you off, but right off the bat, they're very intrigued. But you come across to them like someone who is very independent and fine on your own, and that you come across as very attractive. And with the 7 of Cups, I think that they think you could have anyone you want. You could choose anybody. You could have anything that you want. Like there's something very special about you. And so I think there's a little bit of anxiety on their end too of like, well, why would group one pick me? You know, group one could have anyone, or you seem like you're absolutely totally fine on your own. So I wonder if you give off a very self-sufficient or very independent energy, because you do feel like you're totally good on your own. You know, a lot of times with the Nine of Pentacles, we see someone, it's a little bit different than this imagery, but we see someone kind of just in their garden, surrounded with beauty, totally fine on their own. You know, having created a luxurious, beautiful lifestyle for themselves. And so there's something like this with you where it seems like either you seem totally fine on your own or very independent or very self-sufficient. And with the imagery in this Nine of Pentacles, it kind of feels a little bit less open. Like you're like, yeah, I'm good down here by myself. Like I'm totally fine on my own. Like I can make it. This almost kind of feels like a well, you know, a wishing well where it's like, yeah, I can make all my wishes come true myself. I don't need someone else to do that for me. And so I think that it could bring up a little bit of like insecure feelings in this person where they're like, they're very intrigued, but they're like, I don't want to assume this person wants anything to do with me. You know what I mean? So you come across in this kind of, like I said, mysterious way, but you also, it just feels like there's so much about you that's below the surface. And, you know, we do see most of you below the surface in this Nine of Pentacles. In this Seven of Cups, we see you below the surface of the water. And so I think, again, this person kind of comes across, you can kind of understand a little bit more about how they are and who they are right off the bat because it's just more obvious. But with you, it's a lot less obvious. And so I think that it seems like you have a lot of depth to you that, isn't available for just anyone to access. And so it's not necessarily that you seem closed off, but rather that it would take a little while to get to know everything about you. So let's actually look now at what you'll think about each other as you get to know each other better. So let's see what you think about them. Three of Pentacles. And we have the Five of Cups. Okay, and what will they think about you when they get to know you better? Okay, this one fell on the floor. We have Temperance. And we have the Six of Cups. So when you get to know this person better, you start to see what is below their surface as well. Yes, they come across as themselves. They do seem confident in themselves. They do seem driven and motivated and energetic in certain ways and creative and passionate. All these things are still true. But the more that you get to know this person, there are things that are not always on the surface for them. The things that have been painful or wounding or hurtful to them in their past are things that have changed who they are. And, you know, whether they have gone through deep grief, loss of someone or something, or they've been through painful relationships, whatever it has been for them, they do still carry some pain and some wounding around that. And so I wonder if at times they have some fears around, relationship and being loved and having someone stick around. And with this Three of Pentacles too, which can be about like working together, there could be some fears around closeness with other people or depending on other people. I think this person, you both come across as quite independent, but in kind of different ways. But I wonder if this person has kind of become super independent because there are some losses in their past, whether they had people pass away or whether they got really close to people in romantic relationships or friendships, and then those people went away or didn't want to continue to work on the relationship together or something. Something's going on there with this person. And so there are some fears and some anxieties that come with that around getting close to people and loving people really intimately. I think it's possible this person could make friends very easily or they're very likable, but getting really intimately close with another person could feel a little bit terrifying to them and could bring up some sadness and some grief. And so I wonder if the closer that you get to this person, the more that they share these things with you, the things that have happened to them, their fears, their grief. And it really feels like, with the Five of Cups, we don't always see two figures here, but we see this like woman here, like comforting this seal. And so it makes me think, and we have this lighthouse here, like there's hope. And there is always hope in the Five of Cups with the two upright cups, but it feels like you offer a great deal of compassion and love and understanding for this person. And getting to know them better allows you to feel much closer in a more deep and intimate way than, not everybody does. Like even people that are married for 50 years don't always have this kind of connection or this kind of love. And so, even though this is what you think about them, as you know them better, I'm getting messages around how you work together in relationship, how you share love, how you don't let the other one navigate life on their own. And I feel a little bit of emotion. Like I feel like there's a big relief to this for both of you, but for this person. And that the more that you get to know each other, the more that you understand one another, the deeper and more beautifully complex your relationship becomes. And it's just like whatever surface level with you guys doesn't stay that way. Sometimes people are in relationships or friendships or anything where there's always kind of surface level there. Some people, no matter how much they get to know another person, it just doesn't really go to any real depth. And sometimes we see intensity with someone, but not depth. There is so much depth here between the two of you. And that while you do show up very differently, you also are very well matched. It's like your differences are also similarities in some kind of interesting way that's hard for me to totally explain. But I think that there's a great deal of love, compassion, and empathy for one another. And that the more that you know this person and the more that you understand them, it actually makes you both feel safer, and that any anxieties around loss or misunderstanding or whatever will completely fade away. It's like you both are a lighthouse for one another. You could be very affectionate with one another, but there's a great deal of love and understanding and like very open hearts between the two of you. It just feels like you love this person so much and they love you so much in return. And I think that you do a lot to help one another, not only with like these bigger feeling like emotional things that arise, but also with the day to day. It feels like you really kind of help each other pick up the pieces, but also like if one of you is tired, the other one helps. There's this really nice dynamic between the two of you that's very uplifting. And I think that these kind of small ways in which you are able to show up for one another and trust one another leads to a much deeper well of just openness and trust and love. And that's not to say that there won't be moments of irritation or annoyance or whatever, but it's a beautiful feeling between the two of you. And you can really see as you get to know this person, how much this person really cares about the people they love and the things that they love. And that even if they are like pursuing a big dream in life, they will not abandon the people that they care about. They will always show up for the people that they love. They're going to show up for you. They're going to show up day to day. They're going to show up emotionally and physically and in all of these really beautiful ways, and that they really want to build something together. And so it's interesting because when you get to know this person, it's kind of less about their personality and more about who they are truly. It's so much more about like the love shared between you. It's interesting. How will they feel about you as they get to know you better? We have Temperance and the Six of Cups. So there's a great deal of a sweetness that arises. As you come across kind of more mysterious at first, this will fade as they get to know you more. But there is something that I think is always a little bit mysterious about you. There's a lot more playful energy that comes forward. And with this Temperance, it feels like all the things they originally noticed about you are present, but there's all this other stuff too. I think that this is kind of illustrating the fact that like when you get to know people better, there is so many more aspects to them than you see at first. And so that's kind of being shown here. But I really feel like they see you as so magical in some way, maybe very mystical. You seem very capable to them, and not just like, it's not that you're self-sufficient, but that you're capable of incredible things. You're not only capable of leading your own life and doing your own thing and not needing someone else all the time, but you're also capable of like really connecting with other people and with creating beautiful things. And you're capable of all this kind of healing energy we get with the Temperance card too. And so I kind of wonder if you've done a lot of like healing on yourself, on your own stuff, your relationship patterns, your traumas, whatever it is for you. It kind of feels like you've done a lot of healing. And so you have a healing energy to be around, but that you're also healing for other people. So I have to wonder if some of you are healers or you do some kind of work that involves some kind of healing. Whether that's being in the medical field, being a Reiki practitioner, being a therapist, or that people just feel kind of more balanced or more harmonized being around you, because there is something about your energy that is somewhat peaceful for certain other people, maybe not for everybody. But this is an interesting Six of Cups. It kind of gives me more Three of Cups vibes than it does Six of Cups, like celebration and play and having fun. But, we do get this very childlike, playful, happy energy a lot of times with the Six of Cups. And so when they get to know you better, there's a very like sweet and funny and playful and cute, like adorable side of you that emerges. I think that when you feel safe in relationship, you do become a lot more childlike in a really sweet way, not like childish, but like playful and fun and lighthearted. And so I think that even though you have so much like depth to you, you also have such a lighthearted, bright energy to you. And the more that you get to know someone, and this person in particular, the more it comes out. And I think that this person finds you so fun and so healing to spend time with. And again, it gives me this energy of like, not only are you compassionate to one another and you're compassionate to this person, but that you can lighten the mood and you can bring joy and laughter and lightness when things feel a little bit heavy, and that your energy feels very healing for this person. I also kind of feel like the Six of Cups and the Seven of Cups kind of feels a little bit like multiple personalities. And certainly you could have multiple personalities, but what it feels like more here is that, and with Temperance too, is like there's so much to you. There's so many aspects of you that will come forward once you're close with someone, and this person loves every single one. You know, they love the part of you that works hard. They love the part of you that is kind. They love the part of you that's creative, the part of you that's funny, you know, all of these things. So I think that this is really something so beautiful. Let's get you a little bit of advice. Let's see if there's any guidance. I kind of wanted to do like guidance on how to get to meeting this person quicker, but now I kind of just want to see if there's just guidance in general for you. I'm going to give this one more shuffle before we draw. Okay. The Lovers. The King of Cups. And the Queen of Cups. Oh my gosh. Should we get a fourth one? No. Okay. One thing here is not advice. It's just a reassurance, a validation that what you want is coming true, that this relationship is real, that it is destined and meant to be, that you are finding basically your perfect match, and that this is someone that you will have a long, beautiful, committed relationship with. That there's something about the two of you, like, you know, when you think about like your soul, like the realist you, and then the character that you play in this life, the two of you, your characters are well matched, but your characters are like quite different, but your souls have a lot of like similar energy. And so I think that that's why it kind of comes through as like being different but weirdly the same. And it does feel like you are two souls who do know each other very well already. You know, you may just be coming together for the first time in this life as these two characters that are basically being played, but you were meant to. It feels like this is destiny. You know, it feels like this is what was meant to happen, and that you both have a lot to give. It feels like all of your love, your compassion, your openness, the healing that you've done, all of what makes you so wonderful is going to be well matched in this other person. If you have been someone who has had relationships that were non-reciprocal, that didn't offer you as much as you offered them, where you felt like you loved but you didn't receive love in return, if you have had scenarios like this, this is the polar opposite of that. This is somebody matching you, very generous with their love and with themselves. This is someone who is also going to be very open with you. It feels like you both have a nurturing quality to you, as well as like an emotionally mature quality to you, and that this is going to be a really beautiful match, and that you're not far away from each other at all. In some way, it's like your souls are already spending time together all the time, and that you're very close to one another, but physically you are going to be very close to one another. It doesn't feel like it's very far away anymore. Like it may be something you've been longing for a long time. This could be like, it's possible for some of you, you've already been talking to this person. They do live in another location, but it feels like you're coming together very soon. So, there's a little bit of advice, I guess, around not giving up totally, on this idea that you could be really happy in love, but also like continuing to give yourself a lot of love, still be open, still be loving, and don't close yourself off. There is something like harmonizing that's kind of balancing and bringing you two together. There's a flow that's happening like kind of behind the scenes that flows you right into the same place. You don't have to do anything different. You've already done everything that you need to do. I wonder if this person is still kind of working out a little bit of kinks in their own life and going through their own healing. But this is going to be a really well-balanced and really beautiful connection, and that it's all coming together behind the scenes. So that's cool. What a nice group to start off these readings. So group 1, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this reading was helpful or you enjoyed it, please let me know by liking the video. Leave a comment if you're up for it, and I'll see you again soon, okay? Bye. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Grape Agate and the Catacorn Tarot. Welcome to your reading today. Today's reading focuses on how you come together with your next partner or your right person. And we are going to start right off the bat with how you could meet this person, the circumstances around you meeting. So let's take a look at that. The Empress. The Fool. And the Ace of Wands. So when I pulled the Empress, I thought creating a new beginning. And I thought, well, let's see what the other cards are and see if I'm right about that. And then we got the Fool and we got the Ace of Wands, both about new beginnings. So that's interesting. But before I get into it, I want to pull a couple of these handwritten cards to see some other potential scenarios of where or how you could meet your person. So let me give these another little bit of a shuffle here. Okay, so let's pull a few. Okay, we've got summertime, full moon, neighbor, a place you frequent, and feeling happy. Okay, so we're going to go with those. Let me set this aside. Okay, so of course, these are kind of potentials. They're not necessarily for sure the case. It is possible you could meet this person in the wintertime, for example, but we do have this kind of summery fresh start energy. So whether it is actually summer where you are or you are visiting a place where there is summertime weather, it is kind of this abundant, fruitful, fresh start beginning type of energy. The full moon as well. Literally, you could meet this person on or around the full moon, but it also feels like the culmination of something, like summertime and the full moon and all of this fresh energy is like something is blooming. And so it feels like whether something is actively blooming in your life at the time that you meet this person and that you are going through fresh new beginnings of some kind, big or small, and we can get into some of that. It could be that, or it literally could be that you meet this person on like the first day of the month, the full moon, the start of summer, something like that. But with feeling happy here, not only does that talk about you potentially just being in a good mood the day that you meet this person, but that there's a more happy, fruitful, joyous feeling happening in your life specifically at this time is what it feels like. And yes, you absolutely could be getting involved with a neighbor. This could also be somebody who just lives near where you live. It doesn't necessarily have to be your next door neighbor, or because of all this fresh start energy, this could talk about you moving into a new house, a new property, a new apartment, something like this too, where you're exposed to a new set of people, a new neighborhood, and this opens up energy for you to meet a right person. And with place you frequent, this could be that like you start going to a new coffee shop or a new grocery store or a park or something like this, and that, you know, there's this kind of energy of like maybe you keep kind of running into this person, or you spot each other and you start seeing each other around. So But what feels kind of more important, more than like these specific circumstances, is that there's this very fresh, creative, new beginning energy happening for you. So it does not have to be like your entire life is changing. Certainly for some of you, this could be a very big transition, that like you're moving to an entirely new location, starting a new career, start going to school or back to school, something like this, beginning a new phase of your life. Certainly, especially with this big energy here and with two major arcana cards, but it can also just be like your energy feels lighter, like something is just energetically feeling lighter. It does seem to potentially involve like external things, like moving into a new location, going to a new place, leaving your house, definitely. But there's just this revival feeling in your energy. So whether external circumstances are making you excited, or out of the blue, you're suddenly just feeling kind of light and bright and happy, there's something like this going on where you're feeling kind of like open again and open to potential. Some of you might already be relatively happy people, and this could be that you're just kind of living your little happy life or your big happy life as it is, and a new beginning comes your way. And for some of you, I think for most of you, there's something new that is starting, a new cycle, a new beginning, transitioning from one phase of life into another, and feeling excitement, hope, and inspiration again for life. There's creative energy, there's hopeful energy, there's a feeling of taking a risk and being willing to see where it leads. And because of this risk, because of whatever seems to be going on here, it leads you to love as well. Love that feels right for you. And yeah, I mean, there's this very kind of like sunny day, happy energy. It is a very summery energy. So it doesn't have to be in summertime, but there's this sort of like feeling of like, when you're a kid and you have like summer break, it's like, yay, we finished one thing, we're starting summer break, we're happy, we're free, we're fun. There's something like this kind of energy going on for you. And maybe it is a break, maybe it's a vacation, but maybe it's a fresh start in another way. So let's look at how you'll know it's this person, because this feels a little bit less about the person and more about you. So let's get some more tarot cards for you. How will you know it's the right person? The Four of Pentacles. The Three of Swords. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so there's certainly a feeling of feeling safe around this person, like not only physically safe, especially with these pentacles, but also feeling like your heart is safe. It feels like, I wonder if this Three of Swords kind of makes me feel like this person wears their heart on their sleeve. And so, there's no guesswork. A lot of times the Three of Swords, it can be about heartbreak, but it can also be about clarity and being able to see clearly who is safe and who's not safe, who will hurt you and who won't hurt you. And with it being capped on both ends by pentacles, which often speak to safety for me, and these really lovely Queen of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles, there's a feeling that you'll feel safe around this person, that there's a grounded feeling. It kind of feels like, when you're feeling emotional or upset or life is getting you down, there's certain people that just make you feel better. Like if you can talk to or be around a certain person when you're not feeling well, it's like you feel so much better. And there's that kind of energy here as well. And when you first meet someone, you probably don't know yet, right? Like whether or not they make you feel safe when you're upset, but there's just some kind of feeling like maybe they remind you of someone like that, and that your energy sort of settles when you're around them, even when they're new to you. Um, it kind of feels like respect to me. Like there's something about being around this person or talking to this person where whether you are more open or more closed, they still treat you the same way at first. Like, I wonder if you may have dealt with people who get really upset when you're upset, or are really inconsistent, or don't like when you're a certain way and only like you when you're one way or another. Something like that seems to be the case. And this person feels like relaxing to be around. Like you don't feel on edge around this person, and there's a consistent quality here, and it feels like they don't overshare, which is interesting because we have this Three of Swords like in the center here, which would kind of make me think about maybe they're oversharing. But every time I look at the Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, I think like they're contained, they're kind of self-contained, and that even if they do have like an internal Three of Swords going on, heartbreak and pain and things like this, they don't put it on other people. This is the kind of person who it might actually be that they hold themselves back too much in your eyes. We'll certainly see if there's anything more about that as we pull more cards, but it feels like they don't spill out and just put everything on other people. And like, of course, there's that balance, right? Where we like share and open up to people without burdening them or trauma dumping, and where we're not so closed off that people can't get to know us and what makes us tick and what we feel. And so I do think that this person has a pretty good balance, but I wonder if they do hold back to a certain degree. But it's interesting that this is what comes forward with how you'll know it's them, because this feels like the kind of thing you notice more around when you're more around someone for a little bit longer. But I do think that they'll hold back a little bit. You'll notice that this person feel safe to be around, but they do hold back a little bit. And I think that's going to be how you kind of know it's them. So let's look at your first impressions of each other. So your first impressions of this person. Okay, we've got the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. What are their first impressions of you? Strength. And the Nine of Pentacles. This is going to be a very specific message, but when the Strength card came out, it stood on its end for a minute, and it made me think about like people. I see people at the park sometimes on those like lines that the rope that they tie to the trees, and then they do like tightrope walking on it. I don't know what it's called. I think people often do it if they're like rock climbers, like it's a balance kind of a thing maybe. But I wonder if someone here does rock climbing or does that kind of thing, or does aerobics or some type of like athletic, interesting kind of athletic thing. And I think if that's the case, this certainly could be how you meet this person or how they first notice you. So I just wanted to say that just in case. But when we look at the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles for your first impressions of this person, we get some similar energy. Actually, we have Pentacles showing up again, which is kind of this safe, but also feeling a little bit closed off energy. I think that, having seen the Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles here, I would wager a guess that this person's probably been through some painful events, and, many adults have, but there could be some things that have really hurt this person. But the thing is that they still continue to show up in life, show up for other people. This person may have some pain. They may carry around some pain, but they don't let it get them down. And again, we are looking at first impressions, but I have to tell you what I get. But I think that you really notice very quickly how much this person seems to care about other people. They do have something very respectful about them. They are respectful toward other people. They care about equality. They may really care about social causes, or they may have a cause that's close to their heart, or they just really care about other people feeling safe and feeling respected because of their own experiences in life. Maybe because they've been disrespected, or they've lived circumstances that made them feel unsafe or weren't safe. And so I think that they live their life in some ways just really trying to not harm other people. This is the kind of person where they would say, like, oh, this person would never hurt a fly, like they might kill a spider. I don't know for sure, but that they really do their best not to inflict harm. I do wonder a little bit if this person could live by some like Buddhist principles or something like this. They don't necessarily have to, but I think that compassion and heart and kindness and love is important to them. And at the same time, I feel like they're not super showy about it in like an emotional way. They do seem kind of contained, a little bit held back, a little bit restrained. And they may be an affectionate person, or they may like give people things, like give gifts or try to help people out in those kinds of ways. But if they are more romantic, I feel like it would not be obvious right off the bat. But I would say pretty quickly, within like observing or talking to this person, it's clear that they care about other people, and that this is not a selfish or self-absorbed person, but they may come across as a little bit lonely, because I think that they give a lot and they are very generous in a lot of ways. And I feel like perhaps this person has felt lonely for some time. Let's look at their first impressions of you. We have Strength and the Nine of Pentacles. So interesting, because this is kind of, I think, the energy that we had in group 1 for this question is like, you come across as self-sufficient, independent, strong, kind of like powerfully peaceful in some way. I think that you could look really good. Like, not only are you attractive, but like something about your style, the way that you dress. Like, I'm seeing like a beautiful outfit. I'm seeing like nice eyeglasses, or like your hair done or something like this. Like, there's something about the way that you present yourself, whether that's how you dress or just like kind of how you carry yourself. But something about your physical appearance is something that this person sort of admires. Like, it's not even just like raw attraction. Like, that's not what I get here. It's kind of like they have an appreciation for the way that you look, the way that you carry yourself, and the way that you come across. And so I think very quickly upon spotting you, they just they see you like beautiful art. It's like if they were walking through a museum and they're like, yeah, that's okay, anybody could paint that, and then they spot something that they just can't stop looking at. It's kind of the same vibe here. Like, they see other people, they have impressions of other people, and then they see you, and there's something special there about you. So let's see how you'll feel about each other as you get to know each other better. So how will you feel about this person as you get to know them better? Nine of Cups. And the Seven of Pentacles. How will they feel about you when they get to know you better? the Two of Pentacles. And we have the World. Well, they think the world of you. So we'll get to that. So what do you think about this person once you get to know them better? We have the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. I think that this person is a hard worker, that they really work for the things that they care about. You know, whether they always work hard at their job or they work hard to keep their life in order, they definitely work hard at their relationships. And I think that it's very important for them to put energy into the things that they care about, into the things that they love, and put love into the things that they want to see grow. This is someone that doesn't give up easily on a relationship or on another person, that they get emotional fulfillment from being supportive, being loving, and putting good energy into something. And you know, whether they've always been like this or not, it seems to have become a core value for them to not give up, to persevere, to be resilient, and to continue to put love and positive energy into the things that matter, to grow them into something really beautiful. You know, this could be the type of person that talks to their plants and says sweet things, and is very kind to animals and to children and to adults too. This is a very reliable, dependable person who will continue to show up for the ones that they love. And this is somebody who won't give up easily. Again, they care very much about reciprocity, reciprocal give and take. They care a lot about giving and being generous in the ways that they feel capable of doing that. This is not someone who will be lazy and who will expect you to do all of the work in the relationship, not even close. I think that this person gets a lot of satisfaction from seeing things grow and seeing things bloom and become the potential that they always knew they could become. So this bodes really well for having a relationship with this person because of all the things I've said. They're not going to give up easily. They're going to contribute. They're going to give love. I feel like it's very important for them to do what it takes. And so even if something doesn't come naturally to them, you know, like if you communicate in a way that they're not used to or something like that, they're going to make an effort to understand, to hear, and to alter their communication or whatever it is in order to align better. And they're also not going to be, you know, they don't feel like the type of person who like says every single thing that's on their mind. And so sometimes I wonder if it'll be a little bit like pulling teeth with certain things because I feel like they want to keep the peace. But with that said, I think it is important for them to have true peace. And they know that like being passive aggressive is not going to be the way to get there. Or they know that if they can't speak their true needs, there's no way to have a true reciprocal relationship. So even if there are things that are hard for this person to do, like it may be hard for them to say, this is what I want and this is what I need because they're afraid of rejection or abandonment, they will still do it even if it comes out imperfectly because they know that the only way to have this beautiful relationship and this beautiful life that they want is to be honest and transparent. And so, I really admire the way that this person lives and they face their fears when it comes to love and acceptance in order to have more love and acceptance, because I think that they are very wise and that they understand that even though that things are hard sometimes and things may have not worked well in the past, like maybe in a past relationship, they told someone what they needed and that person left them or betrayed them. They may have fears around that, but they also know that when they're with the right person, that person will also want to build something beautiful. And so I think that once you know this person better, I think that you really respect and admire who they are and how they operate in the world and in relationships. And they do have a very calming quality that I feel like calms you down quite a lot as well. And I think that, you know, with this Nine of Cups, I often notice this when I pull this card is like, oftentimes in this card, we have this figure and then we have the Nine of Cups, like arched behind. But this time we have two different tables and we have some over here and we have some over here. And it often makes me think about like reciprocity. And we have these little hearts on this table too. So it's like, in order to have love, this person knows that they need to give and receive. They know that they can't be selfish or self-absorbed all the time, but they know that they also have to prioritize themselves too. This is someone who's definitely learned lessons in love and relationship in order to have something really equal and really beautiful that both people get to enjoy. And so I think that you will really, really see, notice, and love the way that this person is. So when they get to know you better, we have the Two of Pentacles and the World. So they also really appreciate, not only have we had a lot of pentacles with them, but we've had pentacles with you too. And so it feels like there's an equal level of you both feeling really safe and at home with each other, and that you're going to build a really safe home-like feeling. Like literally you could have a home together, but also just the energy between you feels like home, and it feels like safety, and it feels like balance. And a lot of the things that you admire and love in this other person are qualities that you also have. You also care about the world. You care about other people. You care about equality and reciprocity. And it's basically two really like good, honest people coming together. And that's not to say that neither one of you has any flaws or anything like that, but there is a really balanced energy here. They see you as really healthy and really balanced. Again, I wonder if some of you are, athletic, or maybe you do like yoga or meditation or something like that. Like obviously that doesn't have to be the case, but it feels like some of you have some kind of a hobby or an interest or even a career that involves, some type of effect on your physical health. And I think that whatever you do to keep yourself healthy, even if that's just more emotional health or something like that, this person admires that and they feel more balanced in your presence and with you as well. And they definitely think the world of you. They think you're incredible, you're special, you're unique. They see you much like higher than they see other people. They feel like you're far and away better for them than anyone else they've ever encountered. You're the one that they want. The more they know you, the more they want you, the more they love you, the more that they see you as special. This person is going to prioritize you, like really, really prioritize you. You're going to feel very, very important to this person, and they will make sure that you always know how important you are to them, even when there are other things going on in their life. And there's just really similar energy kind of back and forth here, where you both care about growing something together. And, it's possible that one or both of you has been in relationships with other people where you didn't want to put in the effort because it didn't feel right or something like that. And if that's the case, this is very different, because it feels like you're appreciated and you're loved and you're respected, and that you feel the same for the other person. And so there's this natural desire to build something together. I think that whatever you've built for yourself in your life up until now, or you are building for yourself, is something that this person also admires. There's something about something unique about your hobbies or something is really interesting to this person. I feel like they learn from you a lot. You've got a gentle quality to you while also having a very strong and powerful quality to you. And I think this person really appreciates the balance. It feels like there's an order to your energy and maybe to your personality, where it doesn't feel like you're super chaotic. You may feel like, chaotic internally, because I think sometimes our minds can feel kind of chaotic, but there's something about you that's either very organized, or like your energy feels like there's an order to it. And this puts this person at ease too. It's interesting because I feel like you kind of get similar things from one another. I don't feel like a lot of super talkative energy. Like sometimes we get really chatty energy, and there's almost like a quiet understanding between the two of you. Not that you don't talk, but that a lot of times you don't have to say things in order for the other person to get it. It almost feels like you can exchange paragraphs with just a look, and there's some kind of a quiet mutual understanding between you where not everything has to be communicated, not everything has to be spelled out, and that there's something that you both just kind of get, not only about each other, but as life moves on, it's like you already know how the other person's going to feel about something, so you don't necessarily always have to check in. Or like it feels like there are fewer misunderstandings between you than there would be with another couple, because not only is there a mutual respect very, very present here, but things just go unsaid because they don't have to be said. It's kind of relaxing. There's a really peaceful quality that is consistently there between you, and both of you eventually will just know that you can rely on the other person. The other person's always going to be there for you. And I think that this is a very healing relationship, and that whatever heartbreak or pain or loss or the things that you've dealt with in the past that you've carried with you, it feels like it's easier for both of you to let those things fade away. Let's get you some final advice, potentially on how you can get to this person faster, or whatever advice wants to come out. And do a quick shuffle. The Knight of Cups. The Devil fell on the ground. And the Four of Cups. Okay, so this feels like pretty obvious advice to me just based on the energy of these cards right away, but I also think it won't be for everyone here. So I think that you'll know very quickly whether or not this is advice for you. So there's kind of advice around not letting yourself get carried away about the ideas that you have around someone, not getting carried away with potential, but rather focusing on the reality of things. And there's also advice around not assuming the worst of other people. So what it feels like is kind of going on for some of you is that your mind is trying to kind of like put pieces together, make assumptions, these kinds of things that brains do, And so basically, as you are open or dating or people come your way, you're meant to not, and basically if you've been in situations before, some of you have been in situations where you were with someone that was very controlling, or who took more than they gave, or who was unkind to you, these kinds of things, whatever it was for you, it seems like there may have been a pattern of, romanticizing the potential with somebody and then being really hurt by it, and then feeling like, another time that this has happened again, like this is cyclical, or like a pattern or something, or you've been involved with someone where it was cyclical just with that one person, like you kept kind of like falling for their false promises and things like that. And if that is the case for you, that's not a problem with you. It's because some people are really manipulative and really kind of messed up. And, manipulation and gaslighting and all these things work for a reason. So basically, for those of you who have been in situations like that, it's really important to make sure that when you notice you're getting daydreamy or overly imaginative about the potential or the possibility of someone, when you're imagining things that haven't happened yet, that's not inherently a bad thing, but it may be a good idea to, bring yourself back into reality and say, this is what I concretely know right now. These are the things I don't know yet, and proceed somewhat slowly so that you don't end up trapped in a situation you're not happy with. Because, and I think a lot of the reason the original cards here were saying that you're going to feel safe around this person is because there is something about them that is very calming, very grounding, and may even feel slightly boring to your system if you have been traumatized. And so it's just important to kind of be paying attention as people come in and out of your life, and that, being open to the possibility that there could be someone really wonderful, and that not everyone is going to break your heart. Not everyone is going to lie to you. Not everyone is going to be awful to you. Some of you just need to hear that, but that, it's good to be open. It's not about closing yourself off, but it is about being very kind of like rational, realistic, and logical. And, sometimes people think like being realistic is negative, but sometimes you do have to kind of focus on like the negatives a little bit. Like if you're dating someone and you're like, well, they did lie to me. Like, okay, I don't want to make a big deal about it, but they did. So that needs to be an important check mark that I make in my mental list of what's going on here. Like, kind of like overemphasizing to a degree red flag kind of qualities, because, if I think many of us have been in situations where we look back and we knew we shouldn't have done it, but like we got very lost. And so you're just being advised to pay attention. I want to see if there's any other advice, especially for those of you who maybe don't relate to those messages and are still here. But if there's anything else or anything else you just want this group to know before we close things out. The 5 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. Okay, so it just kind of feels like, and I don't love when like a reading is like wonderful, love, all this happiness, and then it focuses on other stuff, because I really feel like the main message of this reading is like, the person that you're going to be with is someone you're going to be really, really happy and feel really safe with. And I think that it's going to happen during a time in your life, whether that is a week from now, a couple months from now, a year from whatever it is. I'm not trying to push it out a year, but like whatever it is for you specifically, it's when you have kind of like a return of like vital life, joyful energy. Even if it's for a day. Like this isn't like, oh, you've been feeling depressed, you have to feel happy in order to meet someone. No, I think that there are just going to be sparks of joyful moments for you, whether this is a change in your circumstances, a change in your life, or that you're just having a happier day. Something that has been weighing you down for some time, I think, is leaving. And I wonder actually for some of you, if you've been pretty happy and you're like, yeah, I don't feel anything about this old stuff anymore, but then you're having kind of like a return of it suddenly and you're like, what's this all about? It's almost like for some of you that are experiencing that, where like maybe you used to be depressed or you used to feel traumatized and now you've been pretty happy, but you've had having like a weird couple weeks where you feel bad again, something like that going on. It feels like it's kind of like whatever was the remainder of whatever old stuff was there is kind of coming up to be purged, to be completely like released, to release you. So that's, I think, kind of what these cards are saying. Like some burden that you've still carried, some conflict from the past, something difficult that happened. There's been a healing happening, and there's a release of this. And with that release comes a lot more peace and safety and joyful feelings of equal partnership and love. So that's all I have for you today, group 2. I hope this was helpful for someone. Thank you for spending time with me today. Don't forget to like the video if you did like the video, or leave a comment if you're up for it, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye. Hi, group 3. You chose the Sodalite and the Animal Totem Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is really about the circumstances around you meeting your right person or your next partner, and that's where we're starting the reading, actually. So let me draw a few tarot cards to get started, and then I have a few handwritten cards as well. The Ace of Cups, the Nine of Swords, the Ace of Wands. I kind of want to pull one more. And then we have the 10 of Cups. Okay, so before we get into these, I'm going to draw a few of these as well. I like to say don't necessarily take these too seriously because these are just kind of more potentials for where you could meet someone. So let's just kind of see what we've got here. We have a rainy day, a nearby town or city, a brewery, a distillery, or a winery, karaoke. There's a lot of different options here, and a celebration. Okay, so I'm glad we got celebration because I was already kind of getting those potential vibes. So when we look at the circumstances around you coming together, we do have different potentials here, which makes sense. But one thing that I want to say with the two aces here, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, is that when you meet this person, it could be a time of new beginnings for one or both of you, very potentially both of you. And this could be that you're starting a new career chapter, or you're just starting kind of a new chapter in your life, or it is the start of a season or the start of a new year. I mean, there are some wintry vibes here, and New Year's is wintry in some parts of the world. It may not be where you are, but it makes me think like you could meet this person at a New Year's party. We have celebration here. And we also, with the Ace of Cups, it makes me think sometimes of like a happy celebration that involves people or relationships. So this could be a wedding, a birthday party, some type of celebration of other people. And with the 10 of Cups here as well, this would be like a happy, fun celebration that kind of brings people together and feels like community. So there could be family, friends, whatever. So these kinds of things could be going on when you meet this person. These are all potentials. You certainly could meet someone in a brewery, but what this feels like a little bit more to me, especially with like celebration and on these other vibes, is that you might meet this person at like a party where there is alcohol or something like that. And that there may be like karaoke or games or things like that, whether or not you take part in that. It could be happening in the background, but some kind of celebration or someone getting a new job, something like that could be going on. And that with it being nearby town or city, this could be like literally you're going to like a party or a wedding like a half an hour away or something like that. And with it, I mean, it certainly could be rainy. It could be snowy. There could be some kind of a weather happening. That doesn't have to be the case, but it obviously came out for a reason for somebody. It also makes me think like someone's name could be rainy, even if it's spelled differently than that, or rain, or there's some kind of like water in someone's name, like someone is named Lake or something like that. Or you could be meeting someone in a nearby town or city that has lake in the name or falls or something related to water. And with the Ace of Cups here, that definitely seems to be the case for some of you, but it also could be frozen water, so somewhere that has ice in the name or something like that. And that could be where the wintry thing is coming from. What's interesting is that we have this 9 of Swords. And this can talk about anxiety and insomnia and things like that. But what it's really making me kind of think is that I think this has to probably be you, and that you may be going through a period of like, maybe you are starting something new, like a new job, but you're feeling some anxiety about that. Or you're feeling particularly kind of like lonely or isolated, and then you go to an event or something and it kind of breaks you out of that like depressive or lonely or anxious state, but it's showing up here for a reason. So it makes me think that, this could be talking about someone's current energy. It could be yours or theirs, but I really think it points more to you, and that there's a message here for someone that if you have been feeling anxious, if you haven't been getting enough sleep, if things have felt heavy, stressful, you don't know what to do, you're craving a new beginning but can't seem to find one. This is basically here to acknowledge what you're currently going through and also point to a light being turned on, hope returning, a sense of community and love coming back into your life. So someone here needs to know that if you're feeling kind of hopeless, that you're being seen, you're being acknowledged, and that it isn't going to last, and that color is going to return to your experience. It feels like quite soon. And, the Ace of Cups heralds a new relationship, a new beginning in relationship. And the Ace of Wands is passionate. And so it feels like, and the Ten of Cups is fulfillment. So you're going to be walking into a situation with somebody that is really lovely, someone that you have passion for, that you're excited about, that feels like it brings, some emotional fulfillment and certainly potential for the long term into your life. So it kind of feels like this group is maybe going through a little bit of heaviness or a little bit of darkness, or even if it's not every day, maybe you're feeling kind of lonely. Something like that could be going on for you, whether it's a daily kind of slog that you're going through, or if it's like occasionally kind of hits you, like on a weekend when you're alone or something like that. And if that's the case for you, something really bright, something really light, and something really fulfilling is on its way in. And so one thing that I would definitely say is that if you get an invitation to some kind of a celebration, don't turn it down unless you absolutely know that you don't want to go. Like if you know everybody who's going and you don't like any of those people, for a fact it's not going to be any fun. Okay. But if you're just like, oh, like I don't want to have to like get dressed and put on a smile or whatever, like I think that this is pointing to like take invitations. It doesn't necessarily have to be a huge celebration or a huge party. It could be a smaller thing that you're invited to. And certainly if you're someone who does enjoy karaoke, does enjoy going to the distillery, or you even have this like idea that on a day off you want to take a day trip to a nearby town, any kind of urges like that, I would go ahead and follow. And I already can tell someone is scared they're going to miss out. Like, oh, like, well, what if I miss out and like I don't have the urge at the right time and then it's too late? And then that's not this energy. There's an energy of fresh new beginnings coming in for you, but be open to invitations, be open to spontaneity, and know that any darkness that you're currently feeling is on its way out, and you are going to be feeling a lot better and a lot more connected to other people. So I know that this didn't super dive into like exactly how you're going to meet someone, but it just feels like being open and moving toward new things when they present themselves to you, and being willing to accept invitations to connect with other people. That's going to be where the good things are. And if you've been thinking like, well, no one's been inviting me anywhere and nothing's been happening, I think that you're going to start receiving some invitations to do things, or receiving opportunities, or noticing things that you may want to do, even if that's on your own, because it seems to open up some kind of potential for you. So, but when you meet the person for you, the right person for you, how will you know that it's them? Okay, these came out together. We're going to go with them. We've got the Tower, the Emperor, and the Hermit. We have 3 major arcana cards. So that says to me right off the bat that more than likely you will know when you meet the right person. It's almost like lightning strikes, as we see in the Tower. There's some kind of immediate spark. A light turns on. There's something kind of immediately that feels more important about this person than just any person that you meet. There's some kind of immediate chemistry, something that is very interesting, something that really pulls your attention about this person. And I wonder if some of you worry about that a little bit, because I think that while, love at first sight and all of these things are really great and really appealing, sometimes we find ourselves immediately drawn to people who aren't ultimately good for us. And I feel like some of you here have had that happen. And so you're a little bit worried about lightning striking, being immediately attracted to someone, because that hasn't always meant good things for you in the past. I don't think that's for everyone, but it's an energy that I'm noticing here. But I definitely think your curiosity is piqued very quickly with this person. This doesn't feel like someone who's boring that you just get to know because you feel like you should. It's definitely possible that you wouldn't necessarily notice them in a crowd until you hear them speak or something like that. But once something about them intrigues you, it's like you're like a sunflower that turns to the light. It's like, who is that? I think that there will be a little bit of stubbornness, a little bit of feeling like, I just kind of feel like you've been keeping yourself safe. And that even if you want love, you haven't necessarily been super open recently. Like you wouldn't necessarily immediately say yes to someone asking you out, or you kind of put off vibes like you're not interested, or you're open to it, but you're not actively trying to date. There's something like that going on with this group where it feels like, and yeah, I mean, we have the hermit too. So I definitely think you've been keeping to yourself a little bit, and some of you, I think, are very much afraid of getting involved in a situation that is going to be hurtful for you or go sour in some way, even if it's not like terrible. I think there's some either fear around that or hesitation, and that you have felt that it's very important to keep yourself safe. And that, a lot of this energy does kind of feel more about you. So I think that we'll actually draw a few more cards about how you'll know it's the right person. But I think that you're going to feel intrigued in a way where you're willing to let your defenses down a little bit. You're willing to kind of see what someone's all about and see if they would suit you, suit your lifestyle, and this kind of thing. I just definitely feel like many of you have been hurt before. And even of those of you who haven't been wounded, there's a lot of hesitation around dating and around relationship, or just very clearly only wanting to be with someone who feels right, not just wanting a relationship. Because I think that it's interesting. I'm pretty sure we got pretty self-sufficient energies in all three of the groups. So it's like almost everyone showing up here today has some degree of self-sufficiency and independence. But I would say even more so for you than the other groups, like whatever you've built in your life, you don't want someone to tear that down, to ruin it. There are some things that are important to you that, even though you may be willing to compromise and things like that, there's some things that are just important to you that you're not willing to compromise on. And I think that you really want to ensure that anything you feel for another person is going to suit you for the long time, work with your life, work with who you are and who you've discovered yourself to be over time. And that you're not willing to kind of move down a road that is like exciting and passionate that burns out quickly. I think you do want chemistry and you do want these kinds of things with another person, but it's like within reason, I think you're being very realistic and very reasonable, and that you're kind of treasuring yourself and protecting your life. And I think that, there's a lot of things that are very important to you, and you're not willing to just throw things away for love. So let's get a little bit more information about how you can recognize this person, or how you'll know it's them. Okay, we have the World. The Eight of Swords. And finally, we have the Sun. Yeah. Okay, so you will know that it's the right person for you because you will feel like opening yourself up again. You will feel more expansive, more capable, like the light is shining on you, like there's joy. So when someone comes into your life and you feel more constricted, or you feel like you can't be yourself, or you feel like you don't like who you are around them, sweep that aside. It isn't for you. I think that this person is going to draw joy and optimism out of you, and a sense of expansiveness, and a sense of feeling more limitless, more capable, more optimistic, and more hopeful. And so you're going to notice like your mental health feels better around this person. Your emotional health feels better. Your physical health. Like you generally kind of feel like the best version of yourself when you're around this person. I think especially as you get to know them more, and that this person will feel worth leaving the house, worth getting ready, worth the things that other people may not feel like sometimes to you. Like, you may or may not socialize a lot, but even if you do, I think that you kind of like don't let your full self out with everybody, which is not unusual, but it seems like you've become very discerning, either because of your past experiences and the things that you've dealt with and what you've learned from those experiences, or because you've always kind of been that way and you just love yourself and treasure your life. And even when your life isn't like all hearts and roses and rainbows, you still don't want someone coming in and messing it up even more. And I think that you'll know you've met the right person for you because of how much more like open and light you feel. There's like a loosening of heaviness, a loosening of tension, and a feeling of being kind of lighthearted. And I think that this is someone that you'll feel like you can joke around with, that you smile more easily with, and that it feels like there's not such a fearful quality to this. And I don't think all of you are anxious. I think some of you are quite anxious, but there's kind of a little bit of a constricted feeling with you at times that I think will really, really loosen around this person. And it's not that you're always like kind of constricted or always anxious, but I feel like for some of you, you've had some of that energy recently, and that you're really craving that feeling of sunshine again, or, metaphorical sunshine in your life, and this person will bring it. So I think that there's something about this person that will just feel worth it, and will also feel like something you're magnetically drawn to. And that if you have felt kind of low energy and nothing has felt really that exciting lately, I think that's the case for some of you, this will feel very different. And it feels like kind of going from a sleepy, tired, low energy state into like a bright, fun, free, playful, energetic state. So let's look at this person and your first impressions of each other. So what are your first impressions of this person? We have the Fool. And we have the High Priestess. I'm so sorry about the spider. I don't like it either. Some of you probably like it. Let's just cover it up. Okay, what is this person's first impressions of you? The Lovers. And the Empress. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to, oh my gosh, look, we have all major arcana again. All four of these are major arcana cards. So I think that there's something about both of you that both of you immediately recognize. that there is something here. There is some kind of connection, chemistry, something that's more than just chemistry. I think that there's a lighthearted quality definitely that this person has. And, I think that even though some of your energy has come through like a little bit anxious or a little bit restrictive, that it's not always like that. I think that sometimes you are quite lighthearted, and that, I have been talking about how some of you are having like maybe a little bit of extra anxiety or depression or something right now. I don't think that's the case for all of you, but I think that I think that you are someone who is definitely a lot more lighthearted the closer that you are to other people. Maybe not everyone that you're close to, but that your really lighthearted side comes out a lot more when you are connected to someone in a meaningful way. So this person has an energy to them that is light, but also somewhat mysterious. And it feels like this is the kind of person where there's like a light in their eyes and a little smile on their face, but they're not always saying everything they're thinking. Like you can tell that they have a curious mind, that they're thinking lots of things, that they're not always saying everything that crosses their mind. This is the kind of person where like if you're at a party talking to people, you'll see them have like little reactions on their face. Like someone will say something funny and they'll have like you can tell they have like a little laugh because they noticed it. I think this is a really fun person to hang out with. But as far as first impressions go, there's something really cute about this person and somewhat childlike, but also you can tell that there's an intelligence with them, that there's a wisdom to them, and it feels like you notice them having thoughts and impressions about the things around them, even though they don't always say it. They may come across right off the bat as like someone who is spontaneous or a risk taker or someone who's somewhat adventurous, or they may look like that type of person either because of the way they're dressed or what hobbies they say they're into or something like that. But there's a freeing quality about this person, and it feels like, I don't know, there's something very light about them, that they lack some kind of a heaviness that I think you sometimes feel with other people. And I have to wonder if there's a lot of very sensitive people in this group, because it really feels like you are easily impacted by other people's energies. And I think that the way this first impression comes through to me, it just feels very kind of light. And so if you are a sensitive person and you tend to absorb or pick up or notice a lot of the energies and things around you, what I notice with this person is there's a light quality. It doesn't feel restrictive or heavy or difficult. There's something easy about this person right off the bat. And they seem very unafraid. There's some quiet confidence to them where it just feels like they lack anxiety. And I don't know that they actually do, but that seems to be your first impression. It's kind of interesting, right? Because we have the Fool, we have this like grasshopper leaping into the High Priestess card into like a spider web. It's like, ooh, spider web. Let me drop my bag and leap into it. It's like there's something about them that it feels like they're willing to leap into the unknown, that they're sort of unafraid, and that it feels like they're very curious and very intrigued and very interested in things. There's something immediately very light and lighthearted about them, but then you can immediately pick up on a depth there as well. Their first impressions of you, we have the Lovers and we have the Empress. So you come across as having a very feminine energy, even if you are not a man or a woman. There's something that is very beautiful about you, very aesthetically pleasing or beautiful about your energy or your smile or your eyes or the way that you speak, your voice. Something about you is very beautiful and very attractive to this person, and you come across as having a somewhat of a nurturing or comforting quality to you. Like you look like either you would give a good hug, or you're someone that would be like, if you're at a party and someone is upset, you look like the person they would go to talk to or something. There's something about you that feels like safe and nurturing and comforting and kind. You come across as kind and compassionate. You may have brown eyes. Obviously, you may not, but it just seems obvious to me. For some reason, I'm seeing someone's really big, beautiful brown eyes. There's a feeling to you. Everyone may have this impression of you, but this person has it, that you feel safe. Like it feels like you are someone that could be trusted. These are first impressions. Like you look trustworthy, you look reliable, you look safe. And there's something that comforts this person about your presence very quickly as well. I think that, with the lovers here, this person very quickly sees romantic potential with you, partnership potential, and certainly thinks like this is something that they would want to move toward and check it out and see what it's all about. And it makes me think that this person is seeking long-term partnership and truly wants a partnership rather than a boyfriend or a girlfriend or someone to take care of them or something casual. This person wants something like that, and they see some kind of potential in you. So I want to see how you'll feel about each other as you get to know each other better. What will you think of this person when you get to know them a little bit better? We have the Six of Swords. And the Nine of Cups. What will they think about you as they get to know you better? We have the Seven of Cups. And the Four of Wands. Okay. So what will you think of this person as you get to know them better? We have some similar energy from the Fool into this Six of Swords. This kind of forward movement, curious, willing to try new things energy. So I wonder if this person is a little bit of a risk taker, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they do risky things, but that it kind of feels to me like they're willing to move into the unknown. They're willing to be a beginner. They're willing to try something new. They're willing to take a journey on. I wonder if this person is either very decisive or somewhat spontaneous, and that it may help you to be more that way too if you are not. But I think that this person is unafraid of challenges in a way that most people are afraid. They may be afraid of some things, but like some things where you're like, you're not scared to do that. And they're like, no, or the fear doesn't bother them. There's something about this person that's very willing to experience what life has to offer, experience new things, put themselves in vulnerable situations. And I think that you actually really admire this quality. It doesn't feel like this person lives a dangerous life or just does things without thinking all the time, but there's like some kind of fearless quality to them that I think you really admire, and that helps you have the confidence to also move toward things that feel a little bit nerve-wracking. I think that this person makes you feel very emotionally fulfilled, and this person really takes on their own emotional world and does things that will make them feel fulfilled. And so this person won't stay in a stagnant place for too long. If they notice they're starting to feel stuck or trapped or stagnant, they will do something new. They will try something new. They will get out of bed and do something new. It kind of feels like a little bit like something they learned in a past life where they were stuck and they learned some kind of lesson around that. Yeah, I think that they're in pursuit of certain things in life, and that those pursuits or those goals or those experiences that they want to have may be different for everyone, but they are here to enjoy aspects of life, and that they won't let anything get them down for too long. And I think that this is really positive energy that you get to enjoy being around, because it helps you to also not get locked in a place for too long, because their energy feels very revitalizing and refreshing for you to be around. And it's the way that they see things, their perspective, the way that they feel. I think, again, if you're a very sensitive person, this is a really lovely person for you to be around and to spend your time with, because it leaves your energy feeling lighter rather than heavier or more depleted. And that's not to say, again, that like it will always feel like that every single day. If you are someone who needs a lot of alone time, that doesn't mean your needs are completely going to change, but there's something about being around this person that feels more revitalizing than being around certain other people. And I think that this person really can see like the potential and the end of a goal. Like if they have a dream, they can see it complete in their mind's eye. And so they know that they can get there if they really wish to. And so I think that this person has a lot of belief in themselves, and that extends to believing in other people and believing in you. And they just have a really nice, lovely energy that, and it feels very smiley. Like I feel like they smile a lot. You are smiling a lot, and that there's a happy, joyful quality that exists between the two of you, and that you build something really beautiful together. So when we look at how they feel or think about you as they get to know you better, with the Four of Wands, a lot of times this can be about marriage or long-term commitment, and like happy commitment, and building something happy and joyful together that you both have passion for, and something solid, but not boring, and something that feels inspired. And so I think that this mirrors the lover's energy that we saw originally. This person wants to marry you. This person wants to build a life with you. Like you have the qualities, the energies, the things about you that this person wants to partner with. And I think that they feel a great deal of attraction, passion, love, all kinds of things for you, and that they see you as someone really special, something really incredible, and that you feel like the person that they've been waiting for, that they've been longing for, that they've been hoping to be in their life. And with the Seven of Cups too, I feel like you just have all of these qualities that make you so incredibly special to this person. Not only do they just love you and the way that you make them feel, and your personality and the way that you look, and all of these things, but it just feels like there's so much to you that makes you so wonderful. Like even if you didn't have certain qualities, like even if you didn't do this certain hobby, or you didn't have this certain sense of humor, like even if you were missing a lot of the stuff, they would still love you. But it feels like you have all this extra stuff that makes you extra lovable, easier to love, more fun to spend time with. Like the depths of who you are really interesting to this person. It feels to me like they think that there will always be something new to find out about you, that like they will never get bored because there's always something else to enjoy or to learn. And that I think you both emotionally fulfill the other one. Like you feel very emotionally fulfilled together, and that there's a lot of really lovely, happy, healthy energy that flows between the two of you. And it just feels like there's also like so much potential. We have all these cups in the Seven of Cups that are filled. And then in this particular one, we have one that is empty. And in this Four of Wands, we typically see two figures. We see one. And so it just feels like there's potential in both of these cards, that this person sees like unlimited potential with you. There are so many places we could go, so many ways that we can make this relationship wonderful, so many things that we have yet to do together, to build together, to experience together, to talk about together. And so it just feels like even though this person has a feeling that they like. There's a sense that they like newness and they like sometimes this novelty, that you are a perfect person for them because they can settle into it and feel safe and love all the things that they know about you, but there's still always more to experience. And so, their curiosity is alive when it comes to you. They're very curious about all your inner workings, the ways that you see things, the ways that you experience life. And I think they find you incredibly fascinating. So let's take a look on any advice, either on getting to this point faster or any advice that you might need right now or any guidance. We have the Devil, the Four of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Chariot. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure in another group, maybe it was the last one, that we had I think we had the Four of Cups and the Devil in this section as well. I could be wrong. So let's see what we have here. Well, there is a similar message as to another group right off the bat, and especially with the feeling that I've been having where some of you, I think, have been through painful experiences with other people, and that maybe this is why you've been a lot more protective of yourself. There is some guidance here around releasing the past, and that whatever you've already been doing to release yourself from the past is great work to move you forward into a new phase of life. If this is recent for you, where you've recently dealt with something really difficult, or you are currently dealing with something difficult with another person, and it doesn't have to be romantic, but you're just meant to keep processing, moving through and moving away from things that are not right for you and that are harmful for you, and keeping some hope and optimism alive that there will be something a lot better for you and that you're not always going to be treated the way that you have. Some of you may be needing to release things that have become addictive, or distractions that you have and things like that. Not everything, but the degree to which you're noticing things have maybe become unhealthy for you, where something is now controlling you, where it feels like you've kind of gotten into a pattern of there's a few things I'm seeing, where you're okay, I think I have been drinking too much and now it feels like the alcohol is controlling me, or maybe I have been watching too much TV to the degree where I no longer read anymore and I really miss reading, or hanging out at a certain place, but being a regular at a bar or something that has become sort of a toxic atmosphere. I used to go to a place, I was a regular for a long time, sort of like a bar, not really. And it just became really toxic in a lot of ways. And it things messed with me so much there that it got to the point where I literally had to leave. But I knew for years I should leave. It's something like that for some of you. This might not be the case for all of you, but as I'm talking, if you're relating to this and thinking there is something that feels like it's now controlling me and it's not bringing me whatever it once brought me, there could be advice around taking a look at that. But also I think that, the devil a lot of times is about playfulness and not taking life too seriously and not taking everything too seriously. We're playing a role as people here. We're characters in this dream of life, and that doing things to kind of remind yourself of the less serious aspects of life, having more fun, doing something spontaneous, enjoying yourself, or even not beating yourself up about doing something distracting as long as it's fun. That could be advice for someone here. I also feel like some of you have been beating yourself up for things that you've done or situations that you've been in, and it's time to let something go and release yourself from something that just doesn't need to haunt you anymore. And that, I think having an openness to the potential of relationships with other people. And I think that this extends past romantic relationships and being open to friendships and new people and getting to know people better. And I don't think this is a case again for all of you, but some of you I think have like found yourselves kind of closed off in ways, or like feeling kind of alone, and that there's something here that there's more for you than you realize. Like there are more people who want to spend time with you than you realize, more people who would want to be your friend than you realize, or like people who would love to hear from you. There's something like this, and not being afraid to reach out your hand and take someone else's. But also, like, you know, for those of you who have been feeling isolated or alone or lonely, finding the enjoyment of that can be helpful too. Like being willing to extend yourself past like your loneliness and connect with other people and other things, but also like enjoy what you have in being alone or being single right now, because things are going to change for you. Things are going to move forward, and they're going to move forward very quickly at a certain point. And there is going to be a little bit of nostalgia for those times that you had alone, even if they sometimes feel hard right now. I think a part of you is going to miss some of that once you're with somebody. And basically, there's a message here that like, where things have felt stagnant or stuck or slow or whatever, there is going to be movement forward. It's going to happen very quickly, and that things are absolutely going to be changing for you. So group 3, that's all I've got today. Thank you for spending time with me. If this reading was helpful for anyone, please let me know by liking the video. Leave a comment if you're up for it, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.